Welcome back to the Drive-In Asylum double feature. And we sincerely hope you enjoyed our second movie of the night, Four Flies on Grey Velvet.
Next week, Wonder Woman and Troll 2. Holy shit. A double feature people have been waiting for years to see together. I'll figure out how they tie together by next week. But yeah, I'm excited. Ross Hagen fans unite. Nancy Quad fans unite. It's all coming together. It's all happening.
Why not? You know, double features don't really have to make sense.
No.
This theme shit is way overrated. We need to get weird on this program. And Troll 2 and Wonder Woman will be our weird double feature to set the tone for 2023 on our stupid little live stream show that I really missed. I was so bummed all those weeks that we didn't do the show. I missed you guys. I really did.
Even though we got to hang out together on New Year's, I missed it. And I was thinking about everybody here. Like, I was just thinking, it's 1:48, and normally on a normal night, I'd be sleeping and having to get up and do my fucking job. And it's great being up late and drinking and talking about movies.
You know it. It's the best.
Yeah.
So what did everybody think of Four Flies?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, let us know in the chat. Probably most of
you
guys
guys
have seen it before.
Come out and say it first. Mimsy Farmer is fucking goddess. The end of this movie is fucking incandescent. And
oh my god, she's right up there with Betsy Palmer and Laurie Metcalf in Scream 2.
She's so great in this movie, and she's also great in Strange Perfume with the Lady in Black, Autopsy, Body Count, everything she ever did.
Autopsy.
Yeah, but she's a movie that AC said during break, I have no idea what the fuck that movie's about. I agree. That's why I love it. I love this movie. At the end of this movie, she's fucking nuts, and rightfully so. And it's so great. And then the last fucking 4 minutes of this movie are great. The whole movie is great, but it gets fucking wild, and just I love it. You know. And you know, maybe that's why I like it, Mike, because I have known some hurt and angry women with daddy issues, and maybe I've been married to a couple of them, not this current one, but maybe a couple other ones, and maybe I've dated a few of them. Maybe I've been here. Maybe I've been shot in bullet time before. No, I haven't. But you know.
She dies like Jane Mansfield. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, she sure does, and it just comes out of nowhere. It happens in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
At least Deep Red. Remember the thing that happens at the end of Deep Red with the garbage truck? That goes on for at least 60 seconds, but this was over in like 10.
I saw a lot of people bringing it up too. I really like that the gay character is not presented as comedy or stupid.
No.
Or even infallible. Like, he's just a character, and it's just part of his identity. And I think
he's just the guy. And Argento is great. I mean, if you look at this, guys, this is a transition film to Deep Red, because Deep Red has more comedy too than the other animal films, because there's that byplay between David Hemmings and Daria Nicolodi, and you see some of the comedy that Argento's building up in Four Flies.
Yeah. So, my favorite scene is when the seat obviously can't work and he's stuck. You know what I mean? And can't get out. You know, one of the things that's funny is I talked about with the guys while we were watching this. Argento mentions that he thought that Michael Brandon looked a lot like him, and that's why he cast him. It's like, Dario, maybe
on
your dream world. This is what you look. Yes, he has your hair, like David said, but you don't look as attractive as him.
Dream until your dreams come true.
You understand that. You've made that jump in your head.
You know, and a lot of people don't like Michael Brandon's performance. I find it to be good. I think he's effective. He's a different kind of Argento hero because he's sort of not proactive. You know, he gets his group of folks together to help him out of this jam. He doesn't go to the usual Giallo police, you know, that are always ineffectual.
Yeah, at least he finds somewhat more effective people to help him.
Yeah, Steve Wilson says Mimsy fucking sold him in the third act.
She totally did. We're right there with you.
She's damn
straight.
And her
look. Yeah, her look was fucking on point.
Yeah.
She was stunning, but it was in a sort of a Warhol way. She had this Warhol androgynous thing going on, like a factory superstar. I love her in this movie.
I also love that, like, he tries to assert his maleness at the end of it by slapping her, and she just takes the blood out of her mouth and wipes it all over his face.
Yeah.
She pulls out the gun and totally demasculates him and takes
Right.
over. So this is what's up. And
She's like, "Ha, nice slapping."
Yeah,
now
it's astonishing.
I just want to watch you die. It's awesome.
It's astonishing for a 1971 film.
Yeah.
I mean, the progressive gay character, the sort of, how will we call it, gender politics there.
And I completely agree with you. That's one of the things. She's so Twiggy, like, look-wise. She looks early 70s perfection.
She looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Argento did that in a couple of his films. In Deep Red, there was a gay character in there, Carlo's lover. And he goes and talks to Carlo's lover, who presents almost as female. I didn't really understand if Carlo's lover was trans or what, but and he even says that he's like, I don't give a damn what I don't care who you are, It was strange to see people in those roles, characters that were not presented as something villainous. If they were different, or they had alternate sexualities or identities. Argento did that.
I think I'm looking at this through the yellow lens of Giallo, but like Argento's movies feel very cosmopolitan and happening and aren't as judgy, where other movies, when gay characters come up in other Giallo, they're very either objects of derision or worse, potentially the killer because of, something happened to them.
And the other thing, too, is this movie doesn't seem dated to me because the Morricone score of progressive jazz sounds pretty fresh. It looks pretty fresh. I mean, it may have 70s cars and I don't know. I mean, it looks to me like...
I feel like
that's a great point. I totally see that while I was watching it. I felt like that, too. It could have been a more recent film.
It has kind of a timeless quality to it.
Yeah.
I mean...
I think that's what I love about it. And I think Argento hits on that male kind of ego destruction in so many of his movies really well, especially Bird is a great example because, he feels that he's the hero and he has to save this girl when really she's the villainess. Spoiler warning, if you haven't seen Bird, the Crystal Plumage. It's, the inversion of like the heroic element that, no, really, you're the one in danger. And the same way at the end of this.
Yeah.
Well, the New York Times liked Mimsy Farmer's performance too.
The end of this feels very the wind, like Steve brings up, and the branches. Tenebrae very much gets that same look at the end. It feels like the end of the world outside as the resolution is happening.
And come on, how many horror films have you seen where a young woman bounces her head down a staircase before she's stabbed?
Fulci.
I mean, Fulci and Argento, and then he has that great scene in the park where the woman is behind the wall. It's just excellent set pieces in this film.
Yeah, it's really good, and I hope now that the Severin version sold out near instantly, but I'm sure there'll be another version soon. I'm hoping that more people see it and reevaluate it and bring it into their list of what genre they like, because it's definitely a great one. I think
it's special.
Yeah. And
hey, I'm really drunk. Do I need more Jameson?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, right? Why not? Why not? We haven't even gotten back to the death songs yet, have we? No,
we haven't, and I have more to say.
Oh man.
Go. Speak, Bill.
Well, no. First, I want to ask people in the chat if they thought of their death song, their 70s doom death song. Do you have a favorite? I already mentioned my favorite, but there are a couple other ones too. For one thing, I don't think we talked about Seasons in the Sun.
Oh yeah,
Harry Jacks, yes.
That one was a memorable one. That song sounded almost happy.
Mm-hmm.
It had this strange winsome quality, but there was also that song Rocky. Rocky, I never had a baby before. Don't know if I can do it. And the wife in this little young family with a brand new baby dies at the end of it.
Yeah.
It's
Or
terrible.
how about Bobby Goldsboro, Honey, I Miss You?
Oh my God, that song is terrifying.
It's horrible. Yeah.
Then what?
Um,
Oh my God, we don't even know what happened to Honey. He just says, then
no.
one day while she was home, while he was gone and she was all alone, the angels came. Like, what the fuck
The angels,
happened to Honey in that song? I
I
want
don't
to
know. The angels
know.
took her. Yeah.
That's not acceptable to me. I want to know. Like, did she fall down the stairs? Did she go out to get the mail and she fell in front of a truck? I mean, tell us what happened to Honey. I felt ripped off.
If it were an Argento film, a piece of artwork would fall on her and impale her, right?
She would have wrecked into the back of a garbage truck. She totally wrecked the car in the song, so that could have happened.
Yeah, I did want to point out about Four Flies. I love of the Argento films, like Tenebrae is the best example with the scenes on the beach, the flashback scenes. And you notice those were based on the scenes in Four Flies set with the Saudi Arabian execution that he filmed in Tunisia. And it
Yeah.
starts with like a blinding white screen, and you see this really disturbing execution, beheading, truly disturbing. And every time Brandon dreams that he gets a little bit closer to the head getting
Yeah.
whacked off. It's great. Steve Wilson says, I would play my 45 of Run, Joey, Run. And my brother would get so scared he'd run and hide in his closets.
Oh yeah, that's so the wrong person dies at the end of it. The girl dies at the end
Right.
of Run
The
Joey
girl
Run.
dies in Run, Joey,
We're
Run.
gonna
Right.
get married.
What else? Death songs. What do we have
There's
here?
Vincent by Don McLean's another sad song.
That's a sad song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
What about we were talking about Rupert Holmes? He wrote a song about cannibalism.
Timothy, where can you be? Timothy. Basically it's about cannibalism in a mine cave-in. And the group was the Boys, and they were from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And now they're known as Dakota. They changed their name, but it's funny that record came out like I think in '70, and no radio station would play it because it was so offensive. And the record company, I think it was Scepter, said that Timothy they said that Timothy was actually the mine mule that died and that they ate. But if you listen to the lyrics are clearly about cannibalism.
It is cannibalism. Even Rupert Holmes admitted that.
Of course he did. He wanted to do something, he said, that was controversial, that would sell records. And I love that one. When I was working back in Scranton, Pennsylvania, in my office, we had an overhead public address system, and I'd go in and I'd get people to play that like on Friday afternoons, just to annoy them because it's a death song.
I have a list of some other sad death songs to share.
Okay,
please share that list.
Rocky by Dickie Lee. You guys know that one?
Yep.
Yeah, we mentioned that in the first one.
Yeah.
All right, good. Ruby, Don't Take Your Love to Town by
Ruby. Yeah. Yes. How can you love a man whose legs are bent and paralyzed?
That hurts. When I hear Ruby, Don't Take Your Love to Town.
Reflections of My Life by Marmalade.
Oh, that's a depressing one. Oh my God.
The Bee Gees did I Gotta Get a Message to You.
That's a death row song.
Yeah.
Because he's on death row.
Yeah. Cotton's Dream by Barry Dvorak and Perry Botkin Jr. from the film Bless the Beast and the Children.
Oh, okay.
At 17 by Janice Ian is on this list.
At 17, there's no death in that song.
It's a sad song. Shannon by Henry Gross.
Shannon is a song about a dead dog.
Shannon. Oh my God, yeah. That's
Shannon,
like the family dog.
Now, I got to interrupt with a story here.
Yes.
When I was a disc jockey in the mid-'70s, I worked at a adult contemporary station in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and I worked the all-night shift, okay? So we had a strict programming format. We had a clock, and everything happened on a particular time, like the CBS News ran from the top of the hour to 5 minutes and 55 seconds after, and then I had to do the weather and give the lottery result, and there was a commercial 15 minutes after. At the bottom of the hour, it was always an oldie, and the oldies were on giant reel-to-reel tapes, and they were behind me in the control room. Now, AC Nicholas here is a lazy son of a bitch. So what I did was I would just queue up the first song on one of those 20 reels, and one of them was Shannon. So at 1:30 in the morning, if you listen to my shift, there was a damn good chance that you would hear Shannon by Henry Gross, who used to be a backup singer with the Beach Boys. And it's about a dead dog, and it's truly depressing. Shannon has gone, I've heard. She's drifting out to sea.
Maybe she always loved to swim away.
Swim free. Maybe she'll find an island with a shade tree. You know, it's so sad and depressing, but 1:30 in the morning, yeah. Oh. It was good. What else you got, Sam?
Man, there's another list. I have 5 songs about teenage death tragedy. Last Kiss obviously is number 1 on that.
J. Frank Wilson and the Cavaliers, yeah.
One-hit wonders, and Pearl Jam covered it. Tell Laura I Love Her by Ray Peterson.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, when they pulled him from the Twisted Wreck.
Yeah. It was actually pulled from many stations because it thought it would cause people to kill themselves. There's an answer song. I love answer songs, by the way. When people write a song, like Marilee Michaels wrote a song, "Tell Tommy I Miss Him."
Oh, okay.
Also recorded the same song. Let's see, "Teen Angel" by Mark Dimming. And there's obviously "Leader of the Pack's" probably the best known one.
Dead Man's Curve too. I don't think we mentioned that.
Curve. That's the other one I have. Yeah.
We specifically said not to mention Dead Man's Curve.
Oh, okay. I take that back. We won't mention Dead Man's Curve.
Yeah. But I kind of answer songs are another weird thing. Like there's a lot of rap songs that did that in the early days of rap, like the Real Rochelle and stuff like that. They kind of answered back and forth and were disses that got answered back. Real Roxanne, that's what I'm thinking of. Roxanne Shante. And I was really always into that. I always liked when songs kind of like take parts of other songs and answer them back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember the answer song for Boom Boom Boom, Let's Go Back to My Room?
No.
There was an answer song to that. There was a version of the song that they played it where at the end there was an extra verse sung by a female vocalist that said something like, "Bam, bam, bam, I came here to jam, not to go home with you or any other man." Like she kind of like tells the narrator of the song off for making a sexual proposition to her.
That's my favorite part of "Don't You Want Me" by Human League is that the guy sets up the whole first chorus, and then she like literally tears him apart in the next verse. She's like, "Sure, I was working as a cocktail waitress. That much is true." And then everything after that's like, "Fuck you."
She's like, "It wasn't you."
It's so amazing. I remember the first time I realized that. I was like, "Wow."
Great song.
She even says, "I still love you."
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the Human League. Don't get me started on the Human League.
I'm a big fan of that. I also like the other thing I was thinking about this week, Bill, not really answer songs, but songs that get covered way too quick. And like, isn't it amazing that Funky Town charted like twice within like 6 years or 7 years by 2 different bands?
It was 6 years. Yeah.
6 years. And I think, is this a hot take to say that you like the pseudo echo version maybe a little more?
I think it's absolutely a statement that later you will look back on and be embarrassed. You may.
I thought that you had stated that you like the pseudo echo version better.
No, I don't like the pseudo echo version of that better.
Yeah.
Lip sync for me, please. Although I admit I did like the pseudo echo version at the time, and it keeps showing up on my YouTube automated playlists. So I have heard the pseudo echo version of Funky Town probably at least 10 times in the last 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Ironically, you bring this up now.
It's funny. If you want to know what Bill and I do on New Year's, we watch YouTube videos together of everybody else wants to watch a certain year, and Bill and I sneak in ones that are like the best early 80s stuff, and it's like forgotten bands of the 80s, and Bill and I yell at the TV, nobody forgot this band. And we get real elite about bands that we don't. Well, there's a lot of us singing Nick Kershaw songs too. It's a
Nick
really
Kershaw for
it's
sure.
a really Bill and I have a tradition now of watching YouTube videos together and getting wasted on New Year's. It's really
And hopefully Taco will show up on any of the
my
top
favorite is when Taco shows up, you get so excited and you're like, of course.
You've never seen me get so excited as when Taco shows up.
There was another one that you got super excited about, and I can't remember who it was, and it was like really beyond deep cut, and I was like, yeah, that's awesome. It's really good.
What, Strawberry Switchblade?
Yeah. I got really excited about Shakespeare's Sister. Stay is a
Shakespeare's Sister, yeah.
Shakespeare's Sister.
Yeah, big favorite. So, yeah.
Wow.
Married to Dave, Siobhan Fahey, married to Dave Stewart from Eurythmics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a lot of music video watching before the ball dropping and then after. And everybody's like, oh, can't you guys show something from the 90s? Because Bill and I are way older than everybody else. I'm like, you know what? Music kind of stopped after like 86. So, that's fine.
Hi, Cammie McInnes. It's nice to see you.
Who do we have here?
This is Cammie McInnes.
Twinkle with Terry. I've never heard that song. Wow, that's
yeah,
awesome.
I don't know what that is, although I'm intrigued now.
Yeah. I am too. Look at that.
Another one of those boyfriend dies songs from the 60s.
I did a whole week on my site of story songs that got turned into movies, such as Ode to Billy Joe, Harper Valley.
Ode to Billy Joe. Oh, I loved how it became a gay thing when it got to the movie of Ode to Billy Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what they intended in the
original. No,
it's
extraordinarily offensive with today's optics.
Yeah.
It's sort of, well, yeah, it is. It is offensive now, but it's another one of those gay tragedies. Like, oh, I had a gay experience. Now I'm not straight anymore.
So I got to go kill myself.
Can you please just get over it, please? Like, just get over it, okay? Like, if you like women, you like women. It doesn't matter.
The other crazy thing about the 70s were like there was more of a time when the whole K-Tel albums, not K-Tel as much, but like albums would come out of not the original people doing a whole bunch of songs. Do you know what I mean? You could get like whole albums of just like Cyndi Lauper played on, and it was in a lot of those bands. And
cover stuff, yeah.
Record covers of just, and that's how you got like 20 versions. Yes, Tracy, the end of the movie was in accounting for a lot of people.
Yeah. Hi, Tracy. Nice to see you. We got 17 people with us on this super late night edition of the Drive-In Asylum double feature. Thanks to everyone.
To talk about death songs, so it's good. Cats in the Cradle, not a death song, also very sad.
Tragic though, that's a tragedy.
More tragic than the 80s hair metal cover of it.
I got one for you. Billy, Don't Be a Hero.
Oh, that's a good
Oh
one.
my God. Oh, fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And everyone's saying that to me because my name's Bill. So I
what is that supposed to be? Is that supposed to be the Civil War or something? What is that? He dies because he's a freaking hero or whatever?
I'm not sure what war that was supposed to have been.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you listen to like Glenn Campbell, Galveston is about what, the Spanish-American War, maybe, right?
Glenn Campbell. Oh my God. I was obsessed with Glenn Campbell when I was a kid. Because my grandparents had this like weird collection of records like, Amos and Andy. This really offensive, like, white people doing like black characters. And train sounds. Like just train weird, and it scared me when I would listen to those train sounds. And my grandpa had all these exotic albums, like Les Baxter. He had the greatest record collection ever.
Yeah, Lex Baxter was a guy that wrote a lot of soundtracks for AIP movies. He did a lot of like lounge music.
Les Baxter, sorry.
Yeah. My dad had a lot of weird records like that. He had Music to Strip By. How did that happen? And also, I remember asking my dad, like, why do you have all these Walter Carlos records? And suddenly, is Wendy his sister? And he goes, I don't know. I think it's probably his sister. And she started recording. and it took me years later. I was like, wow, this is mind blowing.
Same person.
Same person. And awesome. Those records are great. He had
my parents had a lot of what they called at the time party records.
Yeah.
So it was like, Rudy Ray Moore and Red Fox, of course, and just dirty humor, at the time.
Yeah, and Mom's Mabley.
Soldier.
Mom's Mabley, right? I
was a big one, yeah.
Yeah, I always like the Rudy Ray Moore stuff because, I mean, those movies are, let's put it bluntly, they're crazy. They're fucking nuts. And, the fact that Rudy would like narrate his own trailers, I always got a kick out of it. He'd go, coming to this theater is its next attraction, the film that will put you in traction. Dolomite, starring me, Rudy Ray Moore, and the bad D'Urville Martin as Willie Green. There, I've culturally appropriated.
Rudy was very hands-on.
Yeah, he was. He was amazing.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that John brought up 110 Soldier, which obviously.
Oh, 110 Soldier rides away. Yeah.
Yeah, is that I love it. Oh, not just because Coven is a legit satanic band. It had a Black Mass in their first record.
But the Black Mass was their first record.
And one of their members is named Oz Osborne. And their album is Coven Reaps Minds and Destroys Souls, which is I use it. If you ever read any of my reviews, I work Coven lyrics all the time into stuff. Jinx Dawson is amazing. Still putting out records. Yeah, I love that stuff. And it's very much of the early 70s.
Yeah.
That's what I love. The early 70s are like, oh, there's going to be a satanic panic in 10 years. Fuck it. Let's go nuts. And they just like, everything's acceptable.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
They dive head first into that. Why has nobody asked me about my Terror House shirt tonight?
Yes. Why not?
Yeah, you show us your shirt, Bill. Come on.
Oh.
Okay. I made this on Sticker Mule.
Oh, beautiful. Look at that.
Do you know I had to have a Terror House shirt?
I know you did. And look at my shirt. Here's a trivia. Here's a trivia. Where's my shirt?
Oh, you're wearing my Christmas present, Sam.
Yes, a Marta t-shirt.
He's got a Marta t-shirt, and I've got Zach and Mary make a porno.
Yeah.
Bill gave me all. I got to share this too. All Marissa Mel Christmas gifts. I also got the 45 of Lady-O and Slave of Love, which is Rocky Horror meets Atari Teenage Riot meets Grace Jones, and it's fucking great.
Let me be your lady.
Let me be your lady. I love that I have this in my house now. And
Marissa Mel made me a man when I was a teenager, so there you go.
It's funny.
You weren't the only one, I'm sure.
I hope not.
Yeah, she's the best, and so excited to have that.
She's got a very Warhol look too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you want me to go through my stuff I got in the mail, Bill, while I'm on camera?
Oh yeah, why don't you? I'll put you full screen again.
A lot of stuff.
It's the
from
Sam
Arrow.
show.
No, it's not my show. A lot of stuff from Arrow. We got Big Time Gambling Boss. That's actually 88 films. Lady Whirlwind, which is a new Arrow set. I can't remember what director this is. There's a Danish box set that they put out. By the way, next week, if you watch the show, I have one of these to give away. A movie called Death Knot. I'll have one of those to give away to one lucky viewer. So excited. This movie got me in trouble. I just changed on mascara. My wife yelled from the top of the steps, "You got some fucking shit in the mail." And not happy about that one coming in. Haven't watched it yet. Ultraman Kids. What? There's an Ultraman Kid.
Oh my God.
County Line, a movie with Tom Wopat and Jeff Fahey. They said they'd never work together again, but they're doing it. I don't know if that's true.
They're like the Eagles.
Yeah, the Executioner Collection. That's new from Arrow. Kino, man. I'll put all the Kino stuff together. How about that? More Arrow stuff. We got Millionaires Express, The Vagrant.com for Murder, which is what's his name? Nico Mastorakis, however you say his last name. Nightmare at Noon and The Dunwich Horror, which I'm super excited they've re-released, and it has a lot of stuff cleaned up in it. Here's the crazy stuff that are actual releases. Kino, Programmed to Kill, Sandal Bergman and Robert Guinea in the same movie. It's like, God, Sam. I have not seen Hobo with a Shotgun. How about that? Crazy. This is, I texted Bill in Glee when I got this today. The Asphyx just came up from Kino, a 99-minute cut of it, of stuff, of totally fixed up cut. Super excited. Lady from Shanghai, come on. I mean, this should be in everybody's collection. As should Death Wish 4K. Oh my God. So excited about that. Just a couple more. Let's see what else we got. These are some Convoy Busters. This is from my friends at Cauldron. Super sweet. Shanghai Joe, also from Cauldron. Fighting Fist of Shanghai Joe. One of the bloodiest kung fu spaghetti westerns you'll ever see. Blood on Melly's Moon from Severin. And if you buy this, look at that. My review's on the back of it, which is my favorite thing.
Oh my God. I love when you get quoted.
It says, absolutely berserk. It's baffling and brilliant at the same time from Notori. Can't help but be entertaining it no matter what he does. Do I love Luigi Cozy or what? Yeah, I do. The Girl Can't Help It. This is a gift from Becca. If you don't have this movie, fucking get on out there and get it. This is a fucking cartoon on film. Jane Mansfield's in it with her head on. Hasn't come off yet.
Sam.
It's great. Yes. And this has the John Waters intro for it, which worth the price of admission. Jen, who's been on the show for, sent this Christmas gift from Jen. Ghost Stories for Christmas from the BBC. I'm so excited.
She was on the first segment. She commented a couple of times.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, you missed her.
Let's see. We're almost done, I swear to God. The Leech, which you guys haven't seen it yet, from Arrow, is a Christmas movie about a priest dealing with homeless people, driving them crazy. It's really good. It's on Arrow streaming as well. And silent running on UHD. So if you liked 5/25/77 and Douglas Trumbull, go grab that UHD of silent running. Last ones. Ghost Warrior, a movie that only I like. I really like this movie. It's about a samurai frozen, shows up later. Real good. Hey, do you like Hitchcock? Do you like Argento? The 5 Days, which Severin put out. Can't believe this movie is on UHD, much less being out. Seeing a gorgeous copy of it is awesome. And finally, if you like Canon, you got to get this Missing in Action triple set from Kino. Ooh. All of them together, all with new commentary tracks from all of the directors. Come on. Joe Zito commentary track, or Frank Zito, commentary track. This is an awesome set. More Canon on Blu-ray. Come on. That's all the stuff that came in, other than the Argento book and the Tarantino book and the awesome record Bill bought me, and this awesome Marta shirt. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff in the mail. So I went crazy getting movies. By the way, the Arrow sale, Vinegar Syndrome sale that just ended. I bought so much shit. I went crazy. I was like, I need all this shit. Do I need all the Amityville Canadian movies? Yeah, I do. Do I need to watch Amityville? Do I need to watch Amityville? It's About Time 3 times? Yeah, probably.
Your affection for the Amityville films is admirable.
Have you seen Amityville About Time? It's fucking great.
How do you like this?
I love this. I can't wait to have this too.
I can't either. That's awesome.
I sent yours today, Sam, and yours too, AC Nicholas. Awesome. So you should be getting it any day now. Actually, Sam, you'll probably get yours on Monday. I'm guessing, and
that's a reason to get up on Monday morning, because I tell you what, Sunday night I have anxieties. I'm like, I don't fucking do my job anymore, and then I wake up and I have to tease myself. I'm like, you know what, Sam? If you get up and you get up early and you do a good job, you get to watch all these shot on video horror movies. So and I also get my new issue, Driving Asylum, so it's all worth it.
Hopefully. I'm not making any guarantees because it is the USPS after all.
Yeah, I know.
They're like, you can buy a tracking number and we'll be able to tell you where it was up until it disappears. And then after that, you're just sort of out of luck. We just told you, we don't. Well, where is it? Well, we don't know. That's really what they say to you. But anyway, brand new issue, Drive in Asylum. It's number 24. I can't even believe it. It's been so many issues. And that's why we had to go on a hiatus for a couple of weeks, because I just needed to get this issue done. We only did like 3 issues last year, and normally we do 4 or 5. So sorry I've been neglecting the print aspect of this little enterprise that we have going here. This is a brand new issue of our print-only fanzine. You should check it out. It's got so many amazing features in it, one of which is Sam's interview with filmmaker George Barry, who made Deathbed, The Bed That Eats. And he gave this interview to Sam just about a week before he passed away suddenly.
No.
And it was a real shock to both of us. You know, he was super nice. I really am bummed that he never got to see the finished issue, because I guess he was pretty excited about it, wasn't he, Sam?
Yeah, super excited about it. Yeah, we were actually going to talk a little longer and add some more stuff to it, but there's quite a bunch in there. It's pretty verbose, and it's really neat to find out a lot about where the movie is actually shot and what the Garwood Manor is, which that's my big interest of Deathbed.
I was really excited to talk to Marlena Lustig. I actually reached out to her on Facebook a couple of years ago, but it was one of those things, like she is an actress. She didn't work much in film, but she worked a lot on the stage. That's where she made most of her appearances. And, you know, she's not nationally known or anything like that, but she does have people that, you know, probably follow her, and she doesn't answer private messages on Facebook a lot. You know, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't go on there. So I wasn't able to reach out to her, but Robert Fries of It Came From Hollywood, a book series, he put me in touch with Marlena. I'm really grateful to him, because I've wanted her for this magazine for years after seeing Scream Bloody Murder, aka My Brother Has Bad Dreams. So I loved talking to her, and I was stunned to get an interview with Robert J. Emery, who's a fantastic filmmaker. He's not one of the most celebrated independents of the 70s, but he was up there. He didn't make as many films as Bill Griffey, but they both served on the Tampa Film Commission. They've been friends ever since they met when Bill was making Impulse with William Shatner. They met on the set of Impulse, and they've been friends ever since. So Bob really needs more of exposure, because he's a fabulous filmmaker just for his sheer drive to make these movies. He made 7 independent films before he moved on to making documentary films for Stars Encore.
Mm-hmm.
He did a film series or a documentary series rather, called The Directors, where I think the very first one they did was Spielberg, and Spielberg was so excited about the finished episode. They're all an hour long. They were only supposed to do 13 of them. They ended up doing 91.
Yeah,
it went on for so long because they were so popular. And that was Robert J. Emery that directed all of those. And he became friends with a lot of these guys, like Spielberg and, John Frankenheimer. He met all of these people doing this show. And it's just, he's a fabulous filmmaker in his own right. Check it out. My interview with Robert J. Emery in the brand new issue of Drive in Asylum fanzine.
I'm so
number
excited
24.
about this issue.
Me too. And AC Nicholas has a fantastic written piece about being a teenage drive-in projectionist.
Yeah, you can hear more about my showing of the double feature of The Psychic and Amok, and my run-ins with Big Rita and Little Rita in the snack bar.
Awesome. I'm super. I get so jazzed up. It's like when I used to get highlights over the summer, or weekly reader over the summer, and I was like, oh. I was the only kid. Every other kid was out playing wiffle ball, and I was like, I can't wait till I get another book to read. That's how I feel when I get an issue. There we go. I went dark for a second. All right.
Ooh.
You're dark-sided, man.
Question for everybody in the chat and with me right now. We talked a lot about giallo tonight. What are your favorites? Or do you have some favorites that maybe folks might not think of when they have them? So interested to hear what some of your favorites are. Whether it's beyond, it's fine if it's, everybody's going to have Blood and Black Lace somewhere near the top, right? I would assume. But, do you have a few other ones that are kind of higher up or, kind of that you want to surprise us with? I'd be interested to hear.
How about Footsteps on the Moon? Does that count?
Come on. That's definite, right?
What's that?
100% definite. I love that movie. I'm so excited that it's easy to find. It's on Tubi now, and the Severin Blu-ray's out. It's a movie that I think, man, it's so good. Flinda Balkan is the queen of F. Giallo, women freaking out and not sure why. Plus Klaus Kinski, and that's all you had to say, right? Like they're in it together. Like, yeah, that's a good pick as well.
House of Psychotic Women. That's a good one. Dressed to Kill's an American giallo for sure.
But you know what? That's fine. I wrote way too much about it this week. It's up on the site.
Dressed to Kill. I loved your piece on Dressed to Kill.
Dressed to Kill is amazing.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, I love Dressed to Kill. I saw it the first time when I was about 11. Totally not ready for Dressed to Kill. Perhaps not understanding of what was happening. I had to refer back to my issue of Mad Magazine to kind of know what was going on in the Mad Magazine version of it. I was not ready for the complex psychosexual issues of Dressed to Kill. Paul, Sister Versal, 100%. That's awesome. I think Murder Rock counts too. I'll give you guys some of mine if you'd like to hear them, Bill.
Yes.
Obviously, I already said Blood and Black Lace, but I mean, come on, right? Sweet Body of Deborah, which is real good. I recommend that. I've said this one a bunch of times, one on top of the other, aka Perversion Story. I know it came out very early. It's maybe more Kermany, but that's fine. Alice, Sweet Alice, which, yeah, it's an American movie, but it's a genre. Yeah. It's 100% a genre, and it's fucking great. And I love it. Pieces, which, yeah, it's a slasher, but you know what? The killer looks exactly like a giallo, so I'll pick that.
It's giallo-esque.
It's giallo-esque. Tenebrae, come on. Manhunter, which I'm going to hot take, better than Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, it is better. It is better than Silence of the Lambs. No hot take with me.
Good. I think about it all the time. I think about that scene where he comes through the window and he gets shrugged off by the killer, as well as the giant moon that it is his entire moon scene, and there is so good. Let's see.
The great line, "Just you and me now, sport."
Oh yeah. Philaday, which is a animated movie that is 100% a giallo.
You turned me on to that, and it's amazingly weird and great.
The Possessed, which is really good. That and The Fifth Chord go well together. Obviously, All the Colors of the Dark. If you haven't seen that movie, please watch it. Don't Torture a Duckling. We already talked about. Love that movie. Death Laid an Egg, which is a very weird movie, and I've recommended to people, and people are like, the movie sucks. What are you doing? It's a movie about ducks with no head. Chickens with no heads and science fiction in 3 ways. It's great. I mean, how can you not love that? Mike Justice Knows, Black Belly the Tarantula and Autopsy, both great. Super mean movies. Well done. Hatchet from the Honeymoon. Can Mario Bava make a bad movie? No, you can't. The Fourth Victim. Can Carol Baker?
Even his bad movies are better than most people's good movies.
Can Carol Baker make a bad giallo? No. Mike Justice Knows. Yeah, exactly. Carol Baker, queen.
There's a piece on Carol Baker's giallo films in the new Drive-In Asylum
I
as
am
well.
more excited about that than anything in the new issue.
Written by Michael Campicero, his first piece for us.
A movie that AC loves, Short Night of Glass Dolls.
Do you?
I love Short Night of Glass Dolls.
Yeah. And what have you done to Solange?
Solange.
She's the crown queen of giallo in my world. I don't know. That's probably my better question. Who are your who are your giallo kings and queens is another good question.
Carol Baker, Edwidge
Edwidge Fenech.
Fenech, Florinda Balkan, Marissa Mel. You know.
I don't know anything about Marissa Mel. I'm not wearing her T-shirt right now. Erica Blanc.
Erica Blanc, right.
Mm-hmm.
Rosalba Neary, Sarah Bay.
This amazing
Boucher.
piece by Stephen Kahn. Stephen Kahn is in the new Drive-In Asylum as well, about Revenge of the Cheerleaders, featuring Cheryl Rainbow Smith. It's one of the most in-depth pieces about a single film that's ever appeared in Drive-In Asylum.
I like to go back and rewatch the YouTube clip so that when you say actor or actresses' names, you see my reactions. When you say Cheryl Rainbow Smith, and I go, oh, yes.
Why do you think I say these things?
I know, exactly. It's like, I know.
I know what to say to get you excited, Sam.
I do too. I'm like, so.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt that stream of Giallo films.
No, it's good. These are other quick records. I'm sure everybody's seen. But Your Vice is a Locked Room, and you have to see that. I really like Murder in the Blue World that Mondo Macabre put out this year with Susan Lyon in it. It's really good. Also Spanish. Spasmo, which I've talked a lot about lately.
Spasmo. I really was cold about that movie.
A lot of people are, but I like it. It's way better. Perfume of the Lady in Black, speaking of Mimsy Farmer.
I need to see that one because that's the one that played one date in the United States under the title Cult of the Damned. And the co-feature was Messiah of Evil. Isn't that crazy?
It's a lot to think about, isn't it?
Somebody bought that as a tax write-off and they just wanted to lose money on it for tax purposes. So they just showed it once. In like one weekend.
I think Paul knows you don't need to pronounce stuff right on this show. If anything, if I prove that,
you'll never look worse than us.
No,
with any pronunciations you come up with.
David, I agree. Body Double's great, and Nothing Underneath is just as great. I love it. And then also
Anita Strindberg.
Yeah.
House with the Laughing Windows.
Yep. Two American Thoughts, Eyes of Laura Mars, which we've shown, and is real good. And Cruising, which is awesome too, which I consider a genre as well.
Is that a hot take, Sam?
No, it's a hot movie. Is it a hot take? I don't know. Doll Help, another really good one. R.I.P. Ruggiero Deodato. Heart of Midnight, which is a movie nobody talks about. Why, I don't know. It's great. And Obsession, A Taste for Fear, another movie nobody talks about. Vinegar Syndrome's going to put it out soon. It's a movie that looks exactly like an Argento movie and has laser guns and floating cars in it. Why? I don't know. It's like Blade Runner turned into a genre. It's fucking great. Perfect Blue, Japanese anime that could have been an Argento movie. And I'll finish up. I got fucking 400 genre movies I could tell you about. But
Sam, you could talk all night about this.
I am. Sorry. I Know Who Killed Me is my last one, which I love. It's a movie that got shat on for no reason because people were shitting on Lindsay Lohan at the time. If you go back and watch it now, it's really good. And Cinematic Void is playing it in theaters this month. It's way better. And Lindsay Lohan strips to doom metal in it. Right? So, I mean, how can you go wrong? And it's got twin inversion. It's got Argento color palettes. And people are like, this movie doesn't make any sense. And every time I read a review, I'm like, if you're watching an Argento movie, if making sense is the prerequisite for these movies to be good, I wouldn't watch any movies. So, yeah.
I have, before we end this, I have two Canadian genres.
Oh, awesome.
Stone Cold Dead, and of course, Strange Shadows in an Empty Room.
Strange Shadows in an Empty Room.
Awesome.
That has one of the best car chases I've ever seen through downtown Montreal.
If you think have as advanced gay characters as 4 Fights on Grey Velvet, it goes the opposite direction of that movie. If that's the one downer I will say, but
this is a super hot take. John Stryker's called Windows.
Windows.
I don't know that that's a giallo because, the first thing that would disqualify it is that the killer way too early in that movie.
Right?
Yeah.
Which, of course, is Oh my God, why can't I think of her name right now? Who's the killer in Windows? It's
I've never
the
seen
husky
Windows,
voice.
believe it or not.
The
So
husky voice. Oh my God, you haven't seen Windows?
no, I
Oh, Windows is a wow. When that came out, that
Elizabeth
was
Ashley. Liz
Elizabeth Ashley.
Ashley
That was
is
so
the
controversial. Oh God,
yes.
because little Talia Balsam is the victim of this
Talia
predatory,
Shire.
or Talia Shire, I'm sorry, of this predatory Elizabeth Ashley, and they make Talia Shire the weakest female character you've ever
She
seen in
is
cinema.
awful.
She has a lisp, for God's sake.
A
They make her like
stutter.
a stutter. They make her so pathetic. And then Elizabeth
Yeah.
Ashley is like overacting, like to the end of the
Liz
universe.
Ashley's great in that movie. I have to
Yeah,
say,
she's
she's the
nuts.
best thing about Windows because Talia Shire is definitely a weak link, but the script is so insane. Like there's this scene where Talia Shire, she's sexually assaulted in the beginning of the movie by this creepy guy that gets into her
Yeah,
apartment and like makes her like say things into a tape recorder.
yeah.
The kind of thing that would only happen in a movie. So but then you find out later that Elizabeth Ashley is her neighbor who's sexually obsessed with Talia Shire. She hired this guy to do this to her so she could listen to these tapes and like,
oh man,
masturbate.
Uh,
And it just gets crazier and
this
crazier
feels
from
like the
there.
kind of movie that I would have on, and Becca would just walk in and be, "Fuck you."
and the cop in that film is played by Joe Cortese, and he's
Yeah.
stunningly bad. It's like every time he shows up, all the air in the room just gets sucked out because he's a terrible romantic foil for little Talia. Oh man,
Nothing in that movie adds up. Linda Gillen was in that movie.
is
Oh
that
yeah,
right?
She is in that
Oh,
movie. She's a female detective. She got hired because she told me this great story that I'll share with you. She went to her agent's office when she had stopped in New York and she had borrowed someone had borrowed luggage from her or something, or she had borrowed luggage from somebody. She went to her agent's office to return this luggage, and her agent was like, they're reading for this movie called Windows. You need to go down there and talk to the director. It's Gordon Willis, the cinematographer for The Godfather. And she's like, this might be good for you. So she's like, okay. So she just went over to this audition out of the blue. And it turned out that the woman that she spoke to when she went to the audition was the woman who did the books for a movie that Linda did in '77 called Alambrista. It was about Mexican migrant workers, and it's one of the best roles that Linda ever did. She played this like really super, um, um, sort of like a Bogdanovich character or a Robert Altman character. She was a waitress in a little diner, and she's great in it. But anyway, she had done an Alambrista, and she signed on to do it, and she had a contract, and she was going to get paid for it. And then they tried to talk her out of getting paid for it. They went to her and they said, like, everyone else is doing this without getting paid for it. It's sort of like a showpiece. And she was like, no, not me. I have a contract and I'm going to get paid for it. So she made them pay her for being in this movie. Well, the woman who greeted her in the audition was the woman who did the books for Alambrista. And when she went in to see Gordon Willis looked at her and said, no, you're not right. This is for a tough detective. We don't, you're just too California. And she left, and on the way out she saw this woman, and they got into it right there in the office. She was like, that was some creative bookkeeping you did for Alambrista, wasn't it? And they started fighting right there in the office, and they were yelling at each other, and Gordon Willis came out and heard her, and he called her back in, and he's like, I had no idea you could do something like that. You're hired. He was like, I thought you were this hippie chick from California. He's like, you're from New York, aren't you? And she said, yes.
boy,
But they ended up cutting.
Windows is something, man.
It's really crazy.
I'm
It's
gonna
like
watch it, and I'm excited to watch it.
she had one of those, she had this career where all these movies she did ended up not being all that great when all was said and done. And Windows was one of them. But
Windows was the first movie released in the new decade of 1980 by a major studio, and it got pulled after a week. Now we're talking about the bad old days of the non-progressive 1980s, and the movie was incredibly offensive. So the studio pulled it. It was United Artists, and Willis never directed another film.
yeah, Linda said it was crazy. Like there was a scene where they walked up the stairs to Talia Shire's apartment, and she said we had to get up at 4:30 in the morning and be on the set at 5 a.m. or 5:30, and we would be in makeup for a couple hours. Then we'd go and shoot this scene where we walked up the stairs, and Gordon would say, "We're not doing it today. After all, the clouds aren't right." And she was like, it was crazy. We did that for like 3 days in a row where we never even shot anything. And we would get up and get in makeup and everything. And like, he'd be like, no, it's not right. So she said, I knew right then and there that it really was not going to work out. And she said, I was knitting a sweater. And because they have the actors sit around while they're setting up these shots, and they're sitting on the set for hours. And she's like, I started this sweater, and the producer showed up and was really annoyed. He was like, look at her, she's putting sleeves in already. How long has she been sitting here? She's like, they were like, what are you doing on this set?
It's
they
like
were
Linda's
really
career is like sneaking around and being like getting hotel rooms and being in there for months.
Yes.
Or
she needs to write a book. I
Yeah,
really need her to write a book.
yeah.
But Windows does look good, though. I mean, it's got the dark, dingy Gordon Willis cinematography, but that's about the only thing. And as Elizabeth Ashley, just as I said, overacting out to the end of the solar system.
I wish I had been at that double feature that Mike brought up of Cruising in Windows. It was a raucous time. Another late giallo, actually super late, 2017, I'd recommend is Crystallize. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's from Argentina.
No.
And man, it's like a modern version of Blood and Black Lace. A runway model goes crazy on cocaine and pours champagne all over the lights and immolates herself and dies. A year after her death, they plan on featuring her on the cover, and one or two models will get to wear her clothes. Everyone associated with it gets killed. And is it her? And there's a killer who literally looks like a mannequin that strikes poses while she kills she or he kills people. And holy shit, it's wild. And like at first you're like, is this movie aping too much of Tenebrae and Blood and Black Lace and Suspiria and everything Argento did? But it's actually really good. Like a lot of late model giallo, like very much Strange Color, Your Body's Tears, really tries too hard to be a 1971 to 73 giallo. And this one is very much like, yeah, we know those movies exist. Knife Plus Heart is another one that's very close to this. That like it takes the general feel of it and just goes nuts and does really great stuff with it. But it's also, in a weird way, it's a lot closer to Nothing Underneath and throwaway 80s, sexy, filled with neon and fog giallos, which I know David in the chat definitely loves as much as I do, where it's just like, sure, okay. Could Gregory Dark have directed this movie? Probably. But I really dug it. Argentina, who knew that they liked these as much? But it's pretty good. It's better than like Abracadabra and a few of the other ones that have come.
Yeah, I didn't like Abracadabra, and I'm not a real fan of that Belgian couple that did Amar and The Strange Color of Your Body's Tears.
Part of me likes Let the Corpses Tan because they got.
I like that one. That's my favorite of their three.
Yeah, because Amar is okay, but Strange Color is just like almost like a director's exercise in setting up shots, but nothing really happens.
No, I would describe that movie as you go over to a friend's house and the friend has travelogue photo book and you just like sort of flip through it. Nothing happens.
It's like it's got a great title though, and it's got a wonderful poster.
Well, it does.
I want to love this movie. It's no Strange Vice. Sweet 16, Vince.
Close. Yeah, Sweet 16 is good.
Slasher, maybe. My defining line is always, what's more important, the murders or who's committing the murders? And like also Giallo also always has to have fashion or at least a woman going crazy.
I have to say, and Four Flies on Grey Velvet had both of those things.
Yeah.
A woman going crazy. And the murders were pretty flashy in this movie,
Yeah.
especially that one where her head was bouncing down the stairs.
Yeah,
And
this one, and you know what? I really love what AC said too. This feels really like a trial run for Deep Red, where this walks
yeah,
that Deep Red could run, but Deep Red
he
is
just took it a step further.
yeah, and I think really up until I've talked this before, probably up till Opera, he was running on all cylinders, and really, I think like the end of Opera is so much like the swirling cameras and the birds devouring eyes and stuff, where it's just like, you know what, like that's all I got. Like I did everything, and like I guess you'll get like some part of me. Did I still buy Trauma at the Vinegar Syndrome sale? Of course I did. It was $10. But you
I
know,
like Trauma a lot. I think Trauma is just as good as anything else.
I think
There, I said it.
No, hot takes at 250.
Yes.
I think Trauma's all right.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's
I'm
good.
excited
It's
to-
good.
Hyper Laurie is fucking amazing.
Oh,
in that
she's
movie.
always amazing.
Hey, did you like that I did another Poopy Averting movie for you, Asa?
Oh, I love the Poopy Averti movies. Avati. I mean, I got to see the ones you reviewed. Although you haven't seen Arcane Sorcerer, have you?
Yeah, I've seen it. You
did you?
put it on the site, and then I watched it. Yeah.
What'd you think? What'd you think of it?
I liked it a lot. You know what? Even his Christmas card playing movie, I really like because it's really well put together. He's a great filmmaker. I mean,
he is. He's terrific.
It's crazy that he made a movie in Idaho or Iowa.
Well, yeah, because he did the Bix Beiderbecke jazz trumpeter movie in Iowa. You know, he was doing films in this country. But I'm glad you liked Arcane Sorcerer. You notice that has tropes from both Zader and House with the Windows That Laugh, or House with Laughing Windows. And you know what tropes they are, because there's that reveal at the end of the House with Laughing Windows that is one of those shocking.
Zader. I think Zader's another movie I think about way more.
I love Zader. That's why I picked it the last time I was on the show here. I just love Zader.
It's got enough eerie weirdness in it and otherworldliness that's what I like about it.
Well, he's a good director because he can make wind and walking through a cemetery at night and loud noises frightening. You know, he doesn't rely on anything other than atmosphere. He doesn't have jump shocks. He has atmosphere that's scary, I think. And Arcane Sorcerer definitely has it.
And
Hyper Laurie is amazing in Trauma, and I hate that she thinks she's bad in it, because I think she's one of the best things about that movie, especially that scene where she's like freaking out and she has like the severed head next to her when they do the reveal at the end.
Yeah,
like that's just a beautiful shot. That's one of Argento's, gems in that movie.
Even in the worst Argento movies, he always has at least one shot that is good.
Yeah. I agree with that.
You say, okay.
He's never completely terrible.
No, he's not terrible.
And that's why I really like Dark Glasses, because they're like we talked about before, there's enough it feels like a more complete filmmaker movie. And then you're like, oh, but he's not doing any Argento shit. And then at the end, the water snakes, and you're like, okay, he did it.
Yeah.
Like I really liked it.
Another thing Piper Laurie did in Trauma, there's that amazing scene where her head gets cut off at the end and it rolls down across the room, and she's going, Nicholas, Nicholas, Nicholas. Her head is speaking as it's decapitated. And I know that took a little something. It probably put her in a chair and spun her around, but she really played that scene as if it were happening to her. And that's impressive for an actor to have to face.
Argento's pretty good on decapitations, isn't he?
It's a recurring theme.
It's a recurring theme, and also people dying and crashing through glass. If you look at
the glass is amazing. Remember that movie Valentine?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's very Argento. There's a shower murder where there's all this broken glass.
I really like Valentine a lot. I think it's a kind of forgotten.
It's ridiculous, but it's fun.
10 years earlier, I think it would be a much more well-regarded slasher.
Oh, I think if it had been made in the 70s, it would be considered a classic.
Yeah, it's good. It's got a really interesting looking killer. It's a fun movie. You know what? I'm going to say another hot take tonight while we're doing them. I actually really liked the new Tubi Terror Train too. I don't know why.
I thought you told me you hated it.
No, I hated the remake. There's already a sequel to the remake, and it's really good because most of it's about something I've always wanted to see in a slasher, about the characters dealing with the trauma of it and being put back through the same trauma. And there's a lot of really interesting notes within it. It's not great, it's like 3 out of 10. But for a 2B sequel, it's pretty.
That's not a strong recommendation.
It is better than a lot of other movies I've seen lately. How about that? Modern movies. It's not bad.
AC Nicholas, what's the most recent film that you've seen that you've been really excited about? Like, did you see any movies in 2022 that you were crazy about?
Movie that I was really excited about. Boy, oh boy. In 2022?
Yeah.
Barbarian was probably my favorite, studio horror.
I didn't see that one, so you liked it.
Yeah, I did. It kind of reminded me of early career Wes Craven. I think some of the folks in the chat might agree with me on that. And don't go in reading ahead on that one. That's one that Sean Collier from the Post-Gazette said, just go in blind, and he was right, because you don't.
Sean Collier, he's been on this show.
Yeah, Sean told me just go in blind and you'll enjoy it. I thought it was really good. As for stuff that I've watched streaming, let me see, boy. What have I seen lately? I was telling Sam during the break that I was watching a lot of the Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee, the second box set. A lot of those are up on, I think, Tubi. And there's some goofy, weird stuff there that I've never seen before. Like there's one called, I think, Challenge of the Devil or something that Christopher Lee did in 1960, and it's bizarre. And then there's another one called Murder Story that he did around 1987. And they're just, I try to pick out obscure stuff.
Yes.
I didn't do my usual holiday week, where during the holiday I used to, in the old days, pick a genre for the entire week. Like I watched 30 spaghetti westerns one year, including Django, Shoot, If You Live, Kill, which is my favorite, I think, outside the Sergio Leones and the Corbucci's. But no, I'm trying to think what else I saw this past.
Did you see Nope?
Yeah, I saw Nope. I thought it was the weakest of Jordan Peele's 3 films.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I loved it.
I liked it.
I'm glad that you loved it too, but I really liked it.
I liked it. I didn't think it was his best. I thought.
Well, no, it's not as good as Get Out.
No.
Us is his best movie as far.
No,
as
I think I'm with you. I think Us is his best movie. He's a great filmmaker.
It's always going to be good if it's him.
Big shots within it.
It looks beautiful. The special effects are probably going to win this year. I think the Oscar for best special effects.
There's a lot. The thing is, even if it's not completely works the whole way through, there's so much that he tried within it, and that's what I like about his movies. Like I think about them a long time after.
Yeah, me too.
It's not what you expect.
A movie that I saw on Friday that pissed me off big time is on Netflix, and it's called The Pale Blue Eye, and that's Christian Bale in it. And it's basically based on a best-selling book where Christian Bale plays this detective in 1830, and he goes to the military academy, which is actually my son's alma mater, Westminster College in Lawrence County. And he meets up with a cadet named E.A. Poe, and it's one of the younger guys from the Harry Potter series. And it's directed by Scott Cooper. And Scott Cooper directed Antlers last year.
Yeah.
And I hated Antlers. I think Antlers just didn't work at all for me. And this is one of these things where I'm not sure sometimes directors should be writing screenplays to books that they love, and they're going to direct it, because the book's like 450 pages. And you can see that Cooper was like slavishly following the dialogue and the plot in the book in his 2-hour movie. And it's about these murders at the military academy, bodies, cadets hanged with their hearts pulled out, and there's some suggestion of satanic ritual. Honestly, I'm not exaggerating. For a half an hour in this movie, I forgot that it was even a mystery with dead bodies, because it's just so slow and there's no pacing. And you've got all these great British actors like Timothy Spall and Toby Jones, and Gillian Anderson from The X-Files shows up in a hoop skirt and a bad British accent, and she's overacting like crazy in her couple of scenes.
I don't know how this is a bad movie. Continue, please.
Well, anyway, Christian Bale's excellent, as you would imagine. Christian Bale's perfect. He's been in like 3 Scott Cooper written, directed movies now, so they kind of have a good relationship, which that's got to be good, because if you read about Bale, he's mercurial on set. Remember the one Terminator movie? He cursed out a cinematographer. But
I remember.
So it goes along.
That was epic.
It looks great. I mean, it's a beautiful looking period movie, and the soundtrack is by Howard Shore of all people, who is Cronenberg's, music guy. And it looks great. It sounds great. And then it comes down to the last 20 minutes of the movie, and there is a twist, which I understand is right from the novel. And then you think the movie's over, and it goes on for like 15 more minutes. And there's a twist at the end that made me want to throw something at the screen, because it totally repudiates the preceding 2 hours. In other words, everything that you thought you were watching in the 2 hours of The Pale Blue Eye is thrown away in the last couple of minutes.
And it's not, it was all a dream.
No, it was not, it's all a dream, but it could be.
It's funny because there's a movie that's on Shudder called Raven's Hollow, which is almost the same plot, with murders happening at West Point and Edgar Allan Poe being the investigator.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with these Poe movies, because do you remember the movie The Raven when John Cusack played Edgar Allan Poe, which that wasn't good.
Yeah.
These things just aren't good. So I saw that one. That was, as I said, it made me angry, because it just seemed like a waste of a beautiful production and an excellent studio work there.
What about Edgar Allan Poe's The Black Cat, a wonderful movie by Luigi Cosi?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's
60 Profundus.
Tell us more about The Black Cat,
That's
Sam.
cozy. I mean, come on. We like cozy.
I love that movie because it's like, hey, it's kind of a Suspiria remake, but not.
What did Cozy do on Four Flies on Grey Velvet? I saw his name.
Yeah, he's a story. I think he has credit for the story.
He's the director and story.
Yeah, I mean, Cozy's an interesting character. I mean, he's kind of like, he's very childlike in a lot of ways, because if you look at his like Hercules film, he's like a 12-year-old who was given a lot of money to make a fun movie that he wanted to see as a 12-year-old.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's definitely entertaining. What is he? Throw the bear into outer space? You guys ran it.
It's great, and it's stock footage from Grizzly.
Yeah, it's just yeah. So I mean, his stuff is not dull. So I would put it above, Cooper and.
I saw Battle Beyond the Stars and Star Crash at Spotlight '88 together, and that's the first Italian movie I remember seeing. Second to Super Fuzz, maybe
Spotlight '88.
Yeah, but I realize now that Star Crash has so many of my obsessions. Cozy, Joe Spinell, so many, not Hasselhoff, but Marjo.
Marjo Gorder. Christopher Plummer showing up for like an afternoon's work.
There's a spaceship shaped like a fist.
Yeah.
There's the bullets that they shoot into the ship that are like suicide missions. It's so good.
It is. It's very entertaining.
And the thing is, like, what's beautiful about that and Battle Beyond the Stars is they came out in that dead zone between no Star Wars movies, right? And I remember being so excited when those came out because they gave me the same, and it's very much like you said, childlike. It's a Flash Gordon. Star Crash feels more like a Flash Gordon serial than Star Wars. He hadn't even seen Star Wars, and it's like just a fun adventure thing. And the Sinbad movie he helped write, that Castellari directed parts of, and he fixed up, is good. That Cannon put out. I really like a lot of the stuff Cozy did. He's very all over the place, but he's got like a really interesting, collection of films that he did.
Well, I think, as I said before, I think he made movies that he wanted to see. Yeah. And, I'll be damned what the audience is going to think. I want to have these clunky-looking animated robots.
I love it's almost like steampunk kind of monsters. And, like, people get turned into lasers at the end of both Hercules movies.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about the second Hercules movie is that Lou Ferrigno did not even know he was making a sequel. He thought it was reshoots the entire time, which is mind-blowing.
Austin Chernick talks about that in his book. He describes the fighting between Lou Ferrigno and Sylvia Christel.
Yeah. So no.
No, with the other blonde.
From Battle Beyond the Stars, or from So Sybil Danning.
Sybil Danning. I'm sorry, the other blonde.
Now, if you Sybil Danning's Twitter, by the way, if you're not.
Steerber herself.
Yeah, her Twitter's something else.
I'll bet.
It's always like if someone dies, it's like I knew this person and I was in this movie with them, and or it's like if something happens in the news, I know this person and there's like a picture. I'm sure Mike's Justice is all over her Twitter.
Of course.
Bill, what's on the screen here?
Oh, what is this? Madame Olga's pupils.
Yes, they're dilated, by the way. And this is Jose Larraz. Jose Ramon
Larraz.
It's the third segment, and I've had too much Jameson's. So forgive me, Jose.
What?
We love
Thank
you
you
on this program. And the Confessions of Madame Olga's Pupils.
Wow.
Well, Bill, you've been killing it with some ads from the UK that I've never seen. Just bizarre. Great ads.
Oh my God. Like some of the stuff I've been finding is amazing, including this one. Here, I'll put this up on the screen.
Okay, you want to see this one.
Oh.
So here's a movie that you don't normally see this ad campaign used for.
Oh, Parasite, the Charles Band film. Look at that. Look at that.
Isn't that the weirdest thing you've seen? I mean,
That's
the Parasite monster. Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like that.
I like
it. Line is. I also like the Arcade Attack, the HBO video that ran. You know, they had the pinball machines.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Can we talk about that?
And I love it says England. I love it says a futuristic 3D experience in terror. Didn't they go back to the 50s and know that House of Wax and Moana Devil were out?
Well, in the year 1992, we may all be living in fear. I was in 92. I don't remember Parasite, but cool.
Oh, I remember. I saw Parasite in the theater.
Oh, you're so lucky.
I did. I saw
3D experience.
I actually saw the one I really liked. I liked Coming At You and Treasure of the Four Crowns.
Oh, Treasure of the Four Crowns. I have the Kino that just came out. Bill, this is a Sam Panko double feature right here.
Yes, right here. There's the Prowler.
Rosemary's Killer name on the Prowler. Okay. Right. But also Lemon Popsicle too. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Like, man. British
we can buy that.
Young Sam was at all three showings.
Yeah, we can buy that.
Oh my God.
It's totally you.
Oh God, what a night.
The Prowler, your favorite slasher, Sam.
Oh, it's the meanest slasher. It's so fucking wrong. I love it.
Savini's best special effects, in my opinion.
Oh, he went crazy on that movie. I love that movie.
I'm cynical about that statement too, my Justice.
What?
We are so copacetic on that. The film he mentioned the film that shocked America.
No,
it's a video. Like, well, I guess
really?
Oh man, this is another Sam double feature right here.
Let's just get it all right out there. The stud and the bitch.
Yeah.
I saw these two on Cinemax After Dark.
I got both of these for 50 cents at a Goodwill on DVD. I think some old pervert died. And I inherited his sticky stash.
Oliver Tobias says the stud.
Man, 100% would be at that. I love it.
I forget which movie it was. One of these two. Roger Ebert said the problem with softcore pornography movies like The Stud or The Bitch is anything above the waist isn't very pornographic, and anything below the waist isn't very photogenic. Which I always thought was a great quote.
Wow. Oh, God.
That's the Brent Walker double feature there.
Oh.
The Stud and the Bitch. Oh, here's a good one.
Yeah. Wow, that's a wild double feature that I wouldn't put together, but I kind of like it.
Oh, I like it too.
Happy Birthday to Me is near Giallo more than slasher too.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you got Fulci there.
Yeah, I mean, and that Cauldron has a UHD of that just came out with a ton of extras.
Oh wow!
Yeah, wow. I first saw a really battered VHS of that, and I prefer the battered VHS that I saw that was like really grainy and covered with tracking lines, and that's how I think City of the Living Dead should look.
Yeah. Gave it some character.
Yeah.
Here's another one that got me excited that I ran earlier this week. This was, of course, a film that had a very unique ad campaign in America, Nightmare.
Oh.
But in the UK, it was known as Nightmares in a Damaged Brain.
That's the one where they put Savini's name on it as the special effects guy, and he sent him a cease and desist letter, as I recall.
Yes. He tried to distance himself from that project. He claims he didn't really do anything on it other than advise people. And I don't really know who knows what he means by that, but he just said he didn't work on it. And they used his name, which would piss me off too.
Yeah.
That movie, Bill, I brought up Love and Death in the Garden of the Gods, the Jala. It's Scavolini's brother directed it, and he was the cinematographer. And it looks gorgeous, which I was shocked it looked that good because I don't think Nightmares in a Damaged Brain looks all that great.
That's why I love it. It's so scuzzy looking.
It has a pretty good decapitation at the beginning, as I recall, with an axe. That's about it. That's about all.
Very, it's not as funny or as ridiculous as Pieces, but it's close.
It's close. It doesn't go so far over the top.
Pieces just gets. Someone said I read this week, which I thought was a great comment about Pieces I never thought of. Were X-rated puzzles such a big seller in the 50s that you could have an entire closet full of them?
That's a good question.
I know there's one in their house.
Who would want to take the time to put the puzzle together?
Yeah. Wow. What a weird double feature.
Oh, this is strange, to say the least. This is strange.
Yeah, thank you.
It's like Canadian Tax Shelter and Carpenter.
Yeah.
It kind of blew my mind when I saw it.
What is the connection between those other than, I guess, nothing?
Nothing.
Yeah. Wow.
It must have just been the UK distributor had both of them.
Yeah.
I really love that painting on The Escape from New York, too, which is his face behind it. That's really cool. I saw the TV commercial before that came out, and I don't think I ever wanted to see a movie more. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just the idea of, they injected him with a disease and they dropped him into New York and he has all these cool guns. Like, what is this movie?
Yeah, I had just come off of seeing Halloween and The Fog in a theater, so Carpenter was the bomb. I saw that on opening night when it opened. It was a great experience, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
A different direction for him.
Yeah. It's one of his.
I mean, at that time we didn't know anything other than horror from him.
Well, my favorite Carpenter. Here's my hot take. My favorite Carpenter film of all time is, wait for it, Assault on Precinct 13.
Yeah, that had to be what you said if you were going to say anything other than horror.
I thought you were going to say Elvis, and I was like, what?
No, Elvis. As good as Kurt Russell is in that, and he is good. But no, Assault on Precinct 13 has always been a favorite.
I love it.
I mean, he liked it so much he remade it 6 or 7 times. So,
yeah, and it is so well put together and just suspenseful, and it moves like a freaking freight train. I mean, the pacing of Carpenter's movies are great.
It also lets you know right from the beginning that no one's safe. If a little girl can get killed getting ice cream.
Oh, yeah. A friend of mine went to see Carpenter do his music live, and they projected scenes from the movies behind he and Davies and his kid, and when the little girl gets shot or the music comes up, they go nuts, and you see the audience goes nuts and the little girl gets shot. And then there's that great shot that opens the movie that has the ostensible hero Darwin Jostin sitting in a holding cell. He's the Rio Bravo convict that's going to help the police. And Carpenter has an incredible rack zoom on him. And I thought, wow, it's like the first 5 seconds of the movie. And this is tremendously imaginative filmmaking from a young guy.
Yeah.
Sam and I saw that show.
Yeah, it was
that John Carpenter show.
Did you? Was he fun? Was it fun?
Yeah.
Oh, it sure was.
Yeah.
Tom Atkins was in the audience too.
And Greg Nicotero was Slash.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Here's one, Sam, that I know got you excited. I hope it did.
Excited, yeah.
You know, I'm only doing this for you.
And I love you for it.
This is a good one.
Yeah. Pre-video nasty. It played theaters uncut, and nobody came to video. They're like, hey guys, maybe let's chill.
Yeah, that happened a couple of times.
Yeah,
Like there was more in the theater than there was.
Like Vipco would put it out, and they're like, "Well, these ran in theaters uncut. I mean, didn't we take everything out we were supposed to?"
What was wrong with these people?
I think the idea that these videos could be in someone's home where anyone could watch them and pause them.
Yeah, kids could get a hold of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here you couldn't get in because this thing's, Certificate X in the theater.
The crazy shit that was Certificate X.
Oh, playing on Shudder right now, which is super exciting.
Yeah, everyone's talking about it too.
There it is.
Someone said the other day, I'm so mad this is playing on Shudder because I don't want to hear more people talk about this movie. I'm like, fuck you. Like this movie.
Oh, come on. If you really like a movie, what do you want to do? Keep it to yourself? Don't you want to share it with people?
Oh, this movie's great. Also, Sam Neill's a fucking spy. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
It's great.
It's
so good.
A lot of people are finally going to get to see this thing.
That's how I want more people to see this.
Yeah.
Get corrupted
this movie should have been more celebrated in its day.
Yeah.
Well, it was cut by like a half an hour in the U.S., wasn't it?
They just gutted it.
I'm trying to think. The U.S. version, I think, was cut pretty badly.
It's a really grueling movie to get through, but I love it.
Yeah.
It is literally the end of a bad relationship.
Yeah.
It horrifies me. It really upsets me. And it's one of those movies like you're not even really sure what's happening. It's just very unsettling.
Yeah.
And I totally understood the ending.
Yeah.
Like it turned out to be like, it goes to the perspective of a child at the end of the movie, and it's really scary. And it's one of those things where you might not even really understand why you're upset. It's just it really gets under your skin. That's why I love it.
Yeah, it's really great. Yeah, I don't want people to gatekeep movies. Come on.
That really pisses me off.
I realize I can be an edgelord asshole about some things, but
about what? Yeah, I've never known you to be that way.
I am about wrestling more than movies.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah,
so.
but no, and I really try not to be like I am about Wes Craven and I am about certain other things, but that's just my opinions. And I also fully realize that my opinions are bad sometimes because I like really bad movies. Look at my Letterboxd list I put up. I watched like 91 Bruno Mattei movies last year. Like I have no taste. So, but I don't think anyone should tell people, "Oh, you're wrong for watching that," or "You're wrong for liking it." Or I'm sick of people saying how good this movie is. Like, if people really like it, that's fine. And there's something in every movie, like some kind of level of value, or you know what I mean? I don't know. It's amazing that any movie gets made because they're so hard to make. So it's like, who am I to dislike it? Outside of Wes Craven movies. Just kidding. And that explains why I don't like Barbarian. AC, explain it to me. Fine.
I know. I like Barbarian because it's like early Wes Craven.
Yeah. I do like Wes Craven TV movies, such as My Quirks. So I like a lot of his TV stuff. So.
AC
Nicholas, I want to thank you so much for being on the program tonight.
Thank you, gentlemen.
It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me. I'm humbled and honored to be on the first show of the new year. Hope everybody had a great time tonight. I know I did.
Next week, we got Wonder Woman, and we got Troll 2.
Troll 2.
My name is Sheriff Gene Freak. Oh, man, I'm so excited about Troll 2. And you know what? My last statement of it. I hate when people shit on that movie. I realize it's a bad movie. But I hate reading these top 10 lists of bad movies. And it's like, yeah, it's a bad movie, but is it an entertaining movie? Yes, it's a very entertaining movie. And it's the last thing I wanted to say, too. There's a list on AV Club this week of movies that aren't streaming, like 15 movies that aren't streaming. And the whole article was like how this movie, no one can see it, no one can find it, and like these are like they're hard to find movies. And the fucking Abyss was on it. If you can't go to a fucking a used video store and find $1 copy of The Abyss, what the fuck is on? Yeah, it's not streaming, but it's not like a magical lost movie. It's not The Astrologer or The Farmer or like like a movie that like you just can't find.
That's only for people that don't know how to work a DVD player.
Or the Johnny Depp Marlon Brando movie directed by Depp called The Brave. That's a lot. That's pretty much an unobtainable movie.
Or The Day the Clown Cried, or I mean, there's these movies that we're never going to see. Right, that movie Mania I talked to you about, that finally a copy came out of it. There are movies like this, but like the fact that these movies aren't streaming right now, tough shit. Like that's my gatekeeping. Like you can find it, and there are places that have it. The other thing I don't like too is when people. This is my other bugaboo for 2023. Is when people say, recommend me this movie. Why should I watch this movie? Or what should I watch? Like,
Convince me to watch this movie.
Convince me to watch this movie. Just watch it. Like I think I said it before, but even if you hate it, you're gonna find what you don't like, and then you can find something you do like, and just experience it. I realize I watch too many movies, but like just watch it, and you might like it. You might be bored, but at least you tried. Yeah, like there's a lot of lost films for a younger generation. Like, okay, like those movies are. I like when people are like, "Oh, it's an underrated movie," and it's like I watched a thing of underrated movies the other day on YouTube, and like The Life Aquatic was on it, and I'm like, "You guys don't understand how this list works." Like that movie, like a lot of people talk about it. It's not an underrated movie.
No, not at all. The Purely and Witness is an underrated movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody's seen
about
that.
Plants witnessing a murder. I mean,
nobody's seen that other than us.
These are the kind of movies that I want to learn about and talk about, and that's why I love the show. And I missed being on the show, and now I got a whole list of movies to watch over the next week. Mike, I'm sorry that I don't like Wes Craven. I'm working towards it. I really am, but it's hard. It's real hard.
And the brand new issue of Drive-In Asylum is out. Issue number 24. Make sure you go to the Groovy Doom shop on Etsy and purchase this. It's only $5. What's $5? Just go pick this up. There's a lot of great stuff in it. Sam's interview with George Barry that ended up being George Barry's last interview, unfortunately. And my interview with Scream Bloody Murder star Marlena Lustig and the director Robert J. Emery. Steve Wilson's in it with a brief interview with Jeff Lieberman. He writes about Blue Sunshine, but he has some actual comments from Jeff that he got from a convention. It's great. And some great reviews. Revenge of the Cheerleaders, Night of the Demon. Write-up of Monster Rally movies by Joseph Perry. And also Jennifer Upton writes about Night of the Demon. Lots of great stuff in it. So make sure you go check it out.
I got an article in it too.
And of course, AC Nicholas is in it.
I'm plugging.
I was a teenage drive-in projectionist.
Right.
And he was.
Learn more about how the late 70s and drive-ins worked.
All right. And thanks very much again, AC Nicholas, for hanging out with us.
My pleasure, guys. You're the best. And thanks for everybody in the chat and all the nice comments. It was a blast. It always is. Hope you guys will have me back here soon.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Whenever you want to. I forgot to share this with you. Guess who confirmed for January 21st show? Uncle Spooky.
No, we haven't seen Uncle Spooky in a while.
His beautiful blue face will be on the program on January 21st. So make sure you're here for that. And next weekend, we're going to do Troll 2 and Wonder Woman.
Yeah. So
come back for that. And we'll see you then, hopefully. Good night.
Good night.
Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian.